Hello everyone, be honest with us. Have you ever had a weird hobby your friends didn't quite understand? Or maybe you were crazy about an artist and your pals just couldn't get what you saw in him or her? Probably all of us have experienced something similar, but the people we're going to tell you about today have more than weird hobbies, and they're not embarrassed about them either. Today, you're going to meet some people who don't care about other people's opinions and just do whatever they want. Let's get it on. Jisha. Just looking at this makes your skin crawl. Jisha is a brave beekeeper's wife from the Indian state of Kerala, and what she's doing right now wasn't for fun. The woman put on a mask made of several hundred living bees in order to raise public awareness of their extinction. And Jisha's little son followed her footsteps. Just look at how the bees love chilling on the boy's fist. According to his mother, honey is a product that should be used by everyone without exception. It contains elements that strengthen our teeth and bones. That is why everyone on Earth should take care of at least one beehive, Jisha says, in order to protect bees from extinction. But it's not just because we might end up living in a world without honey. The fact is that bees are crucial to the maintenance of the natural ecosystem, and the reduction of their population has a negative impact on nature. So how was Jisha's face after this experiment? Well, like always, she says that honeybees don't attack humans, and we shouldn't be afraid of them. But we advise you not to conduct such experiments without proper preparation. Margaret. This is Margaret from the American state of Kentucky. She has a strange addiction to bee stings. Over a decade ago, she started using them as therapy for arthritis. But over time, Margaret became obsessed with this treatment, and at some point, it became a habit. Today, she stings herself at least 15 times a day with bees that she rears in her backyard. Some internet users are very critical of Margaret's hobby, but not because it may seem strange. Environmentalists believe that this behavior is unacceptable in the face of bee extinction. After all, if you make some calculations, Margaret kills at least 5,500 insects every year for the sake of her hobby. Kusumvati. This old lady doesn't have to worry about spending too much money on food. She's 80 years old and has been eating sand for more than 60 years now. Kusumvati first tried it at the age of 15 and has been eating it ever since. But this woman from the city of Varanasi does not just use this natural resource as a dietary supplement. According to her, she consumes about 2 kilograms of sand a day, and she's never been to a doctor in her life. Kusumvati claims that her gastrointestinal tract and teeth are absolutely healthy. By the way, some scientists say that there is a very logical explanation for this. First of all, sand and soil have properties that can protect the human body from certain types of toxins and parasites. Secondly, they contain large amounts of nutrients such as calcium or iron. So, maybe adding some sand to your diet isn't as crazy as it sounds. Paul Yarrow. Nowadays, with the internet being everywhere, people become popular for doing just about nothing. That's exactly what happened to Paul Yarrow, a normal bloke from London who went viral after appearing on TV in 2009. What's interesting is that he appeared in the news of the British TV channels without being invited. The fact is that he mysteriously appears right behind the news anchor every time, while looking completely casual. For example, in some news reports, he's talking on the phone. Paul says he's been on about 100 live broadcasts in his entire life. At that time, the British capital became the centre of numerous protests, including one right before the G20 summit. The man realised the reporters interviewed everyone except him, so Paul decided to get into the picture in another way. According to Paul, the reporters behaved in this way because he was not like everybody else, so he wanted to show that overweight people are equal members of society. Kevin. When we were kids, many of us probably wanted to break an arm or a leg so that we could walk around with a painted cast like people do in the movies and stay at home for a couple of weeks. Kevin is now a respectful adult living in the US, but he never forgot his dream. He has already spent dozens of thousands of dollars on casts and bandages, despite not having any broken bones in his body. At the age of 12, Kevin had his first and apparently only real cast. Ever since, casts casts have become his passion. He doesn't even hide the fact that the reason for his addiction is not the cast itself, but the attention it draws. Not only does Kevin like to feel the interest of others, but he also loves to tell them fictional stories about how he got hurt.
There's actually, I was on the subway and this guy tried to steal my wallet out of my back pocket, and I just quick right hook, boom.
Kevin's girlfriend has already given him an ultimatum. It's either her or the casts. But Kevin claims that abandoning his casts is like cutting off his own arm or leg. Apparently, his addiction is more important to him than a relationship. Michael Carmichael. American decorator Michael Carmichael painted an ordinary baseball with paint every day for over 30 years. And here's what happened. It eventually turned into a giant ball that weighs more than a ton and is already in the Guinness Book of Records along with its owner. Initially, the baseball was only 7 centimeters in diameter. The first layer of paint was applied to it back in January 1977. Since then, every day the number of coats has been increased by at least 1. Every new coat had to be of a different color than the previous one. In addition, on each layer, Kevin wrote a number so as to not get confused in the calculations. Now the ball is so big that in order to hang it, he uses special metal holders, and sometimes it even attracts tourists to Alexandria, Indiana. Many people call it strange, but they still come to see it, and some of them even contribute to the project and apply their own coat of paint.
And
Christopher Sylvester. Sometimes we all want to spend the weekend lying in bed and doing nothing. At such times, you can allow yourself skipping this week's housework, but this guy went an extra mile, so to speak, and didn't clean his house for 15 years.
It's a functional kitchen, as you can see.
It's really bad. It's bad.
Christopher never touched the detergents from the moment he moved there. When he finally realized the magnitude of the disaster, it was simply impossible for him to deal with it alone. That's why Christopher was helped by British television specialists to clean the house. Tamara Holland. People collect all kinds of things, from coins to candy wrappers and all kind of useless things. But Tamara decided to build a collection of something more delicious: Christmas gingerbread. In just 5 years, Tamara has collected 800 items related to gingerbread. Watches, Christmas tree decorations, kitchen utensils, magnets. Her house is just full of gingerbread. It's like Christmas every day. But the main dream of the gingerbread lady was to build a real-life gingerbread house. Not one that you could eat, like those that we see in Christmas markets, but a proper house suitable for living. And not long ago, she managed to bring her idea to life. Just look at her genuine happiness.
Do you like it? It's beautiful.
Derek Nance. While more and more people around the world are switching to vegetarianism, this guy decided to do the opposite. He only eats raw meat.
Would you like to sample our vegan bacon? 100% meatless.
Yes, please.
Sir, is there a problem?
I'm just making sure no one ever has to eat this.
6 years ago, Derek was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, and that's when he first started taking his diet seriously. It turned out that many products that are considered healthy simply don't work for Derek because of the peculiarities of his digestive system. He tried dozens of different diets until he heard about the paleo diet. This philosophy is based on the belief that modern humans should eat the same food as cavemen before the invention of agriculture. Then, Derek immediately felt better and has never cheated on his diet since. In addition to raw steaks and byproducts such as kidneys and liver, he also drinks blood.
Cheers.
According to him, it contains electrolytes and useful trace elements necessary for the body. Derek's unusual lifestyle doesn't interfere with his interaction with people or his daily routine. You won't believe it, but his girlfriend is a vegetarian. Apparently, it doesn't even affect their relationship at all. Jenny Cox. This woman knows more about saving money than anyone else. She goes to a sporting goods store twice a week to do cycling. Jenny doesn't want to spend money on a gym membership, and she's probably right, isn't she? But that's not all. For example, she puts a couple of heavy bricks in the toilet bowl to save water consumption when flushing.
This is my toilet water displacement.
This also applies to the pool. In order to reduce its volume, Jenny also filled that with sand. However, this is not the only trick she does to the pool. Jenny makes her children wash their dirty clothes in it. The chemicals in the water are the same as those in the detergents. By the way, it's interesting how Jenny cleans the pool too. Instead of usual detergent, she just adds some baking soda to it. It's cheaper and no less effective than modern products, she says. Psst, dude, are you looking for new technologies and great gadgets? Are your thoughts focused on the future? Do you love huge vehicles and can't imagine your life without robots around you? Then visit TechZone and you'll find all this and more. The link is in the description. You interested? Great.